everybody, welcome back to JPWHUTV. Didn't expect it to go live that quickly, so because you probably just heard me telling Ben to breathe in. Alan, Ben, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Good, mate. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, not bad, mate. Been running around like a blue-ass fly trying to get all this sorted out in time. Guys, this is the post-match reaction to West Ham 0, Manchester City 5. So we'll go through that in a moment, but obviously we need to talk first and foremost about the sponsor of the channel, 3retro.com. Please click the link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website, where you can purchase retro kits from the 60s all the way through to the early 2000s, including the 1976 home shirt that inspired this kit, and also the 1980 FA Cup final away shirt that inspired this away shirt cup for this coming season, which everyone will be hopefully wearing at Brighton. There's also Admiral and Umbro track jackets, polo shirts, sweatshirts, t-shirts, and track jackets. So go check those out. Any purchases that you make through the link in the description below, not just the West Ham stuff, but anything through the link, absolutely. So you can go and purchase Juventus, Barcelona, you name it. Those commissions will be going directly to Isla's fight for the remaining 19, I think it is now. So guys, get your purchases out as quickly as possible. So the interesting thing that me and Ben are going to be talking about is obviously the game itself, but more specifically, Ben was able to watch it on telly. I was right there at the ground, so we may not agree on a few things. We haven't really spoken about much before we went live, but guys, thank you very much to the people that are watching. Stuart Russell, hello mate, good to see you. Yeah, I'm glad you pronounced that, because the first comment in there was no lads, so I'm guessing you means hi lads. So let's go through the team sheet first and foremost, which apparently changed once it was released at 4:30 in terms of the substitutes. But what I was able to get from Twitter is Fabianski in goal. So it was also Fredericks at right back, Balbuena and Diop making up the centre back pairing, with Creswell at left back, with Rice and what looked like Rice and Wilshere as the holding midfielders, with Antonio out on the right, Lanzini in the middle, with Anderson out on the left and Allaire up front. The confirmed substitutes at 4:30 were Roberto, Zabaleta, Ogbonna, Fornals, Snodgrass, Yarmolenko, and Hernandez, aka Chicharito. But apparently, a few minutes later, Yarmolenko actually disappeared out of the side. But that's subjective. So first and foremost, Ben, what do you think about the starting 11?
It surprised me. It wouldn't have been the starting 11 I would have picked. I would have had Masuaku instead of Cresswell. And also, I would have I wouldn't have started with Antonio. I would have put Pablo Fornals in. I can understand that Antonio probably, in theory, gives you a little bit more defensively. So I can understand why he picked that team. But as I say, it wouldn't have been what I would have gone with based on our preseason.
Yeah, agreed, mate. I mean, I was because we basically said the same squad, just in a slightly different formation, and yeah, that was what I was expecting. What a lot of people were expecting. A geezer at work was asking me about Lanzini and Fornals, really tapping me up for information for his fantasy league, which, by the way, guys, is now on 52. What I looked at, so we'll talk about that later on at the end of the stream as well. But yeah, it was a bit of a surprise for to have Antonio there. But to be honest, man, especially with the first half, I don't think he had too bad of a game. We'll talk about his second half, what irritated the hell out of me. But Jazz, good to see you, mate. Glad you're able to make it in time. And also Dennis Baxter, disappointing result. We'll come to that in a little while, mate. And also the football fan chat is in the group chat as well. So guys, thank you very much for that. So to be honest with you, from my point of view, being at the game itself, we seemed to go toe to toe with City for the good 15, 20, 22 minutes, really matching them, defending brilliantly. I mean, Balbuena very, very, very early on did a very great interception for a running block, I should say, with Jesus. But we'll come on to that in just a moment. But for the first, let's say 15, 20 minutes, I thought we looked pretty good, and I was impressed. Ben, what were your thoughts for that first bell?
I would agree with that. Right up to their goal, actually. I would actually, the only bit I would disagree, you said we went toe to toe. I would actually say we bossed the opening 25 minutes of the game. I thought our passing was crisper. I thought our movement was fantastic. We were first to the ball. The goal rocked us, but up until that point, I was excited. I thought we were playing some great football, and yeah, I was optimistic.
Yeah, well, a little bit too optimistic before the game kicked off, mate, because guys, Ben said 2-2. Not a bad show, because the atmosphere at the stadium was superb. Everybody was really, really up for it. As I said in the preview, we always are for the start of the season. The first home game of the season, the atmosphere is absolutely buzzing, and there was a really sense of, I can't say optimism, but a real sense of, we can really get something out of this. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. For example, 6 minutes in, we had there was a bad challenge on. I couldn't really make out who we actually went to ground on, but it looked like we should have looked like there should have been a penalty, and VAR confirmed after very quick reaction. To be honest with you, very quick reaction that it wasn't a penalty. So that's basically on the 6th minute. Now,
on Lanzini.
Yeah, I think it was, mate. Yeah, as I say, it was the other end of the pitch. It was quite difficult to see from being down in the bottom or lower. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Fair enough. 9 minutes in, really static defending, but what a save by Fabianski! Absolutely brilliant. Really on his again had an absolute blinding game today. I thought he was absolutely superb. And then, as I say, from about 9 up until the 22. I'm glad you feel that we bossed them, because it kind of felt like it. But we definitely matched them toe for toe. Literally, we had some times where we were actually defending, and we were so good at defending we actually put them off target. But we can't talk about that without mentioning the first goal, obviously, which was now this irritated the hell out of me. We've mentioned about Creswell and his pace a few times recently, and because Ben, I think we talked about it when we did the Bilbao preview, didn't we, about his pace?
Yeah, I think we have, yeah.
And now the build up to this, Ben, remind me who got the assist.
Kyle Walker.
Walker. So basically, Walker is 2 yards, I'm guessing, give or take, behind Creswell, both running for the ball. Creswell is overtaken by Walker, and the ball comes over, and Jesus scores a very, very good goal on the 24th minute. So, but as I say, from our point of view, very, very static defending once again. We mentioned that last week when we talked about the Hertha Berlin, that the 3 goals that we conceded we were just looking around, looked like they were thinking, well, right, he's going to go for it, I don't need to move. Very, very disappointed with it. But as I said, from the other point of view, I think it was a very well taken goal by Jesus. I mean, what did the telly show, Ben?
No, it was a very well taken goal. We didn't have long. At first, actually, even the telly thought it was an own goal. They first thought it was an own goal from Diop. Then they thought it was an own goal from Balbuena, and then it showed that it was a good finish by Jesus. However, as you say, I think 2 yards is being generous. I think Cresswell had at least 5 yards on him and just was so static and let him get. I mean, Kyle Walker's quick. There's no doubt about that. But
yeah, definitely.
Let him get into that danger area and was too late at that stage. And great finish, unfortunately.
Definitely, it was a bit worrying. But on the 31st minute, again, it looked like the challenge. And this is the weird thing with VAR, right? Because on the 31st minute, it looked like we should have considered we should have had a penalty. But what came up on the VAR screen was decision, no red card. Now, as I say, because I'm watching from the other side of the other side. So, guys, if anybody's watching that's in the Trevor Brooking or the latter stages of the East and the East and the Billy Bunn stand, let us know in the comments what actually was the build up to that, because it didn't look more the fact that it was to deem a red card for last man. It looked like we should have had a penalty.
No,
I
can tell you what it was. It was actually 2 separate incidences in the one thing. So what happened was, in the build up to it, during the play, Antonio's hand came out and I can't remember who it was, but a City player in the face completely accidentally.
Right.
He was just sort of reaching out and he just sort of, it just made slightest bit of contact, which it wasn't the red card. But then about 30 seconds later, the ball broke and Zinchenko made a tackle on, I believe it was Lanzini, which is the one you're talking about that you thought might have been a penalty, which I could see why you would say that from where you were sitting and stuff, but it was actually a fantastically timed tackle, I have to say.
Fair enough.
So no, it wasn't a penalty. But yeah, there was two incidents rolled into one basically, so that's why the VAR didn't kind of make it clear.
Yeah, because it took a while for it to say up. So by the time it said on the screens, which we'll talk about the conclusion of VAR at the end of this, but when it came up on the screen saying check VAR checking VAR, I should say, we didn't know which was which because we all went, what do you mean red card? What was all that about? Fair enough. And then to be honest with you, I kind of stopped making notes because being 1-0 down, we were still in the game. We were still playing some very, very good football. So as I say, we had towards the end of the first half, we had that brilliant blocking run by Balbuena. Literally just had Jesus like that, just absolutely in front of him the entire way. And then we go into the break 1-0 up, and I'm standing there thinking to myself, I said to Nikki at the end of the Bilbao game on West Ham Fan TV that we were ready to be turned over by City, and I'm thinking, right, I'm going to completely say I was wrong. That was how I was thinking. I think we were playing so well. We kind of switched off around about the 34th minute, but I mean, Ben, would you agree that was the base of the end of the game? End of the first half, I should say.
Yeah. I sort of felt like, as I said, up till the goal, we were the better team. And then for 2 or 3 minutes after the goal, we looked like we were rocked, and I sort of thought City were going to get another quick one, but we did. We stabilised, and then as I say, we were solid again until the end of the half, and we were very, very, very much in the game, and questionably could have been level. The only thing, our play was great, and I thought Allaire was brilliant off the ball, and laying the ball off very quickly. The one thing I'll say for all of our play, their goalkeeper didn't have to make any fantastic saves, really, did he? So, he wasn't tested very much in the first half anyway at all.
No, I think our first shot on target was 34 minutes, I think, something like that.
Yeah, which is very key.
I thought myself, yes, well, 1-0 down, I'll take this now. Please be 90 minutes. Please be 90 minutes. Because losing 1-0 is bearing in mind as it turned out, it was what we were saying it was going to be. But yeah, it was very, very disappointing. And then the substitution at halftime, Antonio comes off and Fornals comes on in his place. But that's the other thing I want to talk about. Just before the break, I love Antonio. I hate to criticize this bloke, but he really got on my nerves towards the end of the first half. It was Creswell is out, got loads of space around him I think it's about 5 minutes to go. He's literally standing there like, hello, give me the ball. I'm on my own. What does Antonio do? He passes to Allaire, who's in an offside position. What was his thing? As I say, I'm right at the other end of the other pitch, and I can see that Allaire's not the right person to pass to. I really don't understand. Charlie Walsh will love this section, but because he loves to criticise Antonio, and he probably has done on Hammer Chat, to be honest. But I was just like, what are you doing? I literally stood there and went, what are you doing that for? And my mate Steve said, because Allaire's offside. I said, I know, that's the whole point. Creswell is literally, there's nobody around him. He was screaming for the ball, kind of like Jim Carrey in the first Ace Ventura when he's pretending to be a mental patient. He's like, I'm open. Even Creswell was doing that, and it was just, he completely ignored it. Now the second half came in, and jeez Louise, literally. Again, 50 minutes, 50 odd minutes, 50 minutes and something seconds. We're 2-0 down with a very, very good, well taken goal by Sterling, but again, spacing all the time. Spacing. There's just something wrong with we had the players on the pitch to do it, but we just don't seem to be getting to the level that we need to in terms of that. I mean, from a TV perspective, mate, what was Sterling's first goal like?
As you say, great goal, and City are going to score goals like that. But as you say, spacing, being static, the defense, and it's been a kind of a theme through pre-season. They don't feel like they're working as a unit as of yet. You know, they're sort of decision making 10 seconds too late. One player's going this way, the other one's going that way. You know, and against a team like City, they're going to pass through you. They're going to make the most of it, and you know it's going to be game over. So you've got to be switched on 100% of the time, and you've got to be communicating, and you've got to be working together. You know, so no, a well worked goal as you'd expect, but we kind of made it too easy for them.
Yeah, and talking of which, what happened 2 minutes later? Now, I didn't put this up as a banner because even though Jesus got his second goal and we were 3-0 down, VAR ruled it correctly as offside. Now, I've been a big advocate of VAR since it was used last year in the World Cup. Okay, we talked about it where I've said that it's a great piece of technology. It has to be used in the right hands. Now, so we've talked about VAR twice already. Okay, this third one actually showed a picture up of Jesus quite rightly 2-3 yards offside. This took quite a while. Now, normally when it goes to this decision, if a decision takes a long time, the offside rule states if in any ambiguity or you're not sure, the benefit of the doubt has to go to the attacking team. Now, this took about 30-40 seconds, give or take. I don't, it felt a hell of a lot longer. But I was saying to the guys around me, I said, guys, if he's taking it this long, the City are going to get the advantage on this, but they didn't. So that I was really happy about from that side of things. But it got me to thinking, and I'll expand on this towards the end of the discussion as well. I kind of got me to thinking, well, if that's the case, then why didn't the images come up with the previous two VAR decisions to say why they came to that decision? Now that, like I say, we'll come on to. And then what was it? While all this calamitous stuff was going on, Wilshere came off and Snodgrass came on. So Ben, what were your thoughts on Wilshere's performance up until that 52nd minute?
I thought it particularly in the first half. I thought he played well. I thought he looked fit. I can think of one particular time. Again, I'm going back to the first half, but he made some great runs. One particular time down the right, and I think it was Allaire fed him in, and he just he messed up on getting to the ball and getting a good ball in. But his movement was good, and it's promising. I don't think he is probably fit enough for 90 minutes at that pace in the Premier League yet. But if we can keep him fit and we can kind of get him bit by bit into it, then we've got a player on our hands. Yeah,
I mean, I agree. I think he was stalwart with Rice a lot of the time. There were moments where he kind of went missing, but that's no disrespect to him, because it was around about the time the rest of the squad started going missing at certain points. Anyway, so yes, agreed, 100%. Now, so 58 minutes in, there's a foul on Lanzini. Ben, who fouled him?
I'm trying to think who it was. No, I don't actually.
Okay, because now this is an issue that I've got. I didn't want to turn this into a rant, but Mike Dean, okay, for the first 20-25 minutes, well, but actually about the first half an hour, I thought he was doing pretty well. I thought he was giving fouls, he was giving free kicks at the right time, but he didn't book any of the City players. Now, there was about at least 2 or 3 that were making the same fouls 3 or 4 times up until about the hour mark, and he just did not do a thing. Didn't book them. Obviously you awarded the free kicks, yet Anderson does a little bit of a tub, yellow card straight out. It looked like at one point he was going through his red, but just really irritated me. Even with this on the 58th minute, with this foul on Lanzini, it was ridiculous. No card, but very, very good crossing from Snodgrass. Very good free kick. Now I said to Steve before Snodgrass kicked it, said it looks like Diop's going to be the target, but I reckon Alaire's going to get on this because he's apparently quite good with headers. And I was half right. Diop went for it, and unfortunately blazed it over the bar. Not by far, to be honest, but not a bad attempt for a defender either, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm kind of thinking, maybe he's gonna take Winston Reid's pedestal for headers, but we'll see. 65 minutes, Anderson comes on and Hernandez comes off. What in general, what do you think about Anderson's play, mate?
He didn't stand out in particular to me. Which I actually would say has been his pre-season. He wasn't bad by any stretch, but just didn't have that X factor, and there's more to come from him, which we know. Although it did take him, I think it took him a little while to get started last season as well. So hopefully he'll grow into it.
It would be nice. It would be very, very nice. Hold on 2 seconds, guys. Sorry, I've just noticed something. Where are we? It's using my camera audio again. It's not using my mic.
I think it was Rodri that you were talking about with City was getting off with foul after foul, and it was the same one. City, as much as they are a phenomenal, in fact, the best team in the world, probably, they're clever about the fouls that they make. They make the fouls, simple fouls at the right time, and it's up to the referee, as you said, Mike Dean, to get the yellow card out and set the tone. Have you lost your mic?
No, it's picking up the camera microphone. It's not picking up this, and I can't get it on there. But anyway, fuck it. Oh shit! No, not wrong way. But anyway, so yeah. But as from one point of view, that we've seen the same old Mike Dean once, time and time again. I really don't understand why he does what he does. It's really infuriating. One of these days, I'll be able to do a consistent week of using this mic. It didn't get picked up when I was talking to Tom. Anyway, so 74 minutes. Sterling scores again, but to me, screamed offside. From where we were, it absolutely screamed offside. But the VAR ruled it as not. So Ben, what were your thoughts on that?
Well, I thought watching it on TV at first, I thought, yeah, it's offside by a long way. And until I saw the VAR, then eventually it was millimeters onside, but he was just about onside by the rules of the game, unfortunately. And it was a beautiful finish, I have to say. Yeah,
again, showing why City did the treble last season, and showing the reasons why we thought we would actually turned over, which unfortunately ended up we did. Now, 82 minutes. This penalty, from what I understand of it, now Ben, you should be able to back me up or at least set me straight on this. The first time the penalty was had to be retaken, it appeared to be it was either Fabianski was off his line before the ball was kicked under the new rules, or the fact that there was encroachment. Which one was it?
It was both.
Right.
They're both. Rice was definitely one of the first ones in the box. There was another West Ham player. I think might have been Balbuena. I could be wrong. Fabianski was off his line, and there was then 2 City players in, but the West Ham players were in first. And I think that's what Mike Dean, because he explained that to, I think it was Rice as well. He said that Rice was the first one into the box, and that's why it was given, because there were City players in too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Now, because obviously when Aguero took the first kick, he was going to the Fabianski's left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
But then the VAR went to the City supporters celebrating, and then it had to go to replay. Now, I said straight away, with Aguero standing up, said he's going to go the opposite way. He's going to go the opposite way, and he did. And it went into the back of the net. But At the same point, VAR went up again. Now, this is what I was saying about the VAR images, okay? The reason why I asked you about that, Ben, is because there was no image to show why the penalty was retaken. Second time round, VAR is called on again, rules the goal correctly. Well, in their eyes, it was ruled correctly. The image that went up shows City encroachment. Now, I'm sorry, but encroachment's encroachment. I don't care which team's which. If you like, for example, what was it with Everton a few years ago with that stupid penalty by Mido, where we had to have the penalty retaken 3 times because there was encroachment twice. Now this is exactly the same as that, as far as I'm concerned. The picture went up saying goal stands, and you can see 2 or 3 City players literally in the box.
Yeah.
Right? So how is that rule? How was that not picked up on?
Oh. Well, it should have been, quite simply. I wasn't aware until I was just speaking to you there that sometimes it was showing the pictures and sometimes it wasn't, and that's a real concern. I mean, why are they picking and choosing what they're showing? You know, the fans in the ground are paying money; they get to see everything. They absolutely have to. What's the one word that we always look for with referees? Consistency. Now, is it consistent to show it sometimes and not? Clearly not. So they really need to sort that out.
Exactly, mate. And it was just, and that's why I said I was only going to talk about the stuff later on during the video. But yes, it's massively. I said to Nikki afterwards, it's massively inconsistent. If you make any decision, you show it. If you're not, if you show it or you don't. You can't pick and choose what you're gonna choose because I guarantee tonight. I obviously, you know, we're talking while other games are going on, so I don't know what other issues VAR, but there's obviously, you know, there's a VAR issue with Liverpool last night, and there's issue with VAR with our early game as well. So, be interesting to watch match of the day tonight, and obviously we come around to the last goal of the game, and there is literally 90 + 2, I think, give or take a few seconds. Raheem Sterling, as bloody predictable. We got 2 earlier in the game, so of course he gets his hat trick. So again, it seems like the same mistakes were being made every single time. I mean, Ben, would you agree that again it was a very good, well taken goal, but the same mistakes leading to a goal again?
Yeah, again a well taken goal, but again he came down that our left hand side, which was the problem area. That's where City were getting any of their joy. And you leave a player like Raheem Sterling in the space that he was in, and it's only going to end up in the back of the net. It's simple as that. Fabianski sort of thought that he might have squared it to Aguero and kind of made a movement, which made it a little bit easier for Sterling. But yeah, if we're going to give him the space and we're going to give him the time, then he's going to score.
Now, there are 2 other things that I want to talk about. How the players are adapting to the new rules. Okay? Because God, what was his name? What was City's first substitute that came off? Let me have a look. Hang on, guys. Let's have a look. Anyone in the chat? Because obviously it's delayed by a few seconds. Anyone in the chat while I'm looking for it? But basically, the rules state that any substitution. Any substitution that's made the player has to go off by the closest part of the pitch. Now, this is going to be a bit of a technicality. I get that, but the rules are the rules. Now, when Anderson was substituted off, it looked like it, you know, had a bit of a foul of an injury. To be honest with you, but. Yeah, where I'm just trying to find it. Where we're come on. Stop all this bloody waffle. Where are we? Yeah. So, right. So where we go?
Again, it's consistency, isn't it?
Jesus for Aguero, right?
Oh yeah.
Now, where Jesus was, you've got the pitch and it's in the centre, right? You obviously, to get this in your mind's eye, you've got to put them into 4 quarters. Right, obviously, because you can't have 5 quarters, but but where he was in, from the bench point of view, he was in a couple of couple of yards in from the top right-hand quadrant. Okay. Now, by the rules, it says he has to go off by the Billy Bond side and walk round. He didn't. Now, I granted it was a few yards, but he didn't. He took his time and went from where he was down to straight line down to the pitch, down to the bench. Now, this is what irritates me. Now, he should have been booked, or something should have happened, because he didn't follow the rules. I agree, that it's a little bit ambiguous as to how they're going to enforce this if any of the players don't. But a few of us said he shouldn't be doing that. And again, that was completely ruled out, which is completely overlooked, as Mike Dean did for quite a few things. Now, as I say, as a result of this, the contrast was Anderson, quite rightly, where he was, he walked to the sideline and then walked all the way round, and he got an applause, the longest applause you've ever heard someone get, because he was walking quite slowly. But my skin was really, really crawling with this. But as I say, it is without using that stupid term that Love Island's made very famous at the minute, it is what it is. We knew we were going to get. We knew. I said, it would be embarrassing from one point of view if we lost it 3 or 4-1. We didn't. We lost it 5-0. Now the funny thing is that the City supporters, I don't think their brains are there 100%, because they started singing "We're top of the league" when the 5th goal went in. They were top of the league when the 4th goal went in, because we didn't get a chance to score. Come on, guys, it's not that difficult. But that was one thing that really worried me. Our attacking intent, there was way too much passing and not enough trying to pass it, or actually trying to take a strike on goal other than trying to get it up to Allaire. That really, really irritated me. Even as well as we played throughout the 40 minutes of the first half and didn't really get out of first gear in the second. That we need to be playing. We've got attacking players. The second half we had Snodgrass who's attacking. We had Hernandez. We had Fornals. We had Allaire played a full 90 minutes. We had Rice, who I thought had a decent game. There's a couple of shaky moments here and there, but to sum up, it was frustrating. But as I said to Nicky, a game of two halves, and he sarcastically said, "Well, we lost both halves." But quite rightly so, because for me again, like Arsenal last season when we played them up at the Emirates and we went 1-0 up and we lost it, was it 3-4-1? You can see the intent behind it. You can see the plan, but the players again just weren't, in my opinion, up to it for the full period of time. As I say, we seem to be sitting in second gear up until the 35th, 36th minute, and then for the first half, we never really got out of neutral, really. As well as we defended as much as we could, as well as the midfield played as much as they could. It wasn't. But it's the first game of the season. We've got 37 games more to go. Ben, sum up. What were your thoughts on the game in general?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be the only team that's going to be turned over 5-0 by that City team. But yeah, I would agree with what you're saying. If you look at pre-season, we were passing the ball well, but we were also, if you look at the goal against Fulham, Lanzini has a shot goal. Against Hertha Berlin, the ball's worked well, but then there's a shot at the end of it. Today, it was just worked well at times, but there was no end product, and it was a concern. But we will grow into it. With these, with a new front man, it takes time. We will, if we play how we played the ball and try and create more chances against most teams in that league, we could have created a couple of goals, the first half, against most teams. So there are positives to build on, but there are concerns defensively, as there have been throughout preseason. So we really need to work on that. But Pellegrini is we were so concerned last season after 4 games. We went to Everton and we're a totally different team. So we'll take it. We'll move on, and I think we will learn from it.
Do you know what, mate? I really, really want to agree with you, but this stems a lot farther back than pre-season. This stems 15 years at least. Yeah. But yes, but you're right. It's a constant problem. in that regards, because obviously, let's say it's 15 years, so 2004. So basically, when we lost that playoff final against Palace originally, and then it seemed to get systemically worse and worse every time. But I'm not panicking because, as I say, we've got 37 games more to go. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to be released later today. Mark, DJ Blokey, I think he's kind of missed the point. Was just being massively sarcastic, saying we thought Anderson had already gone off, mate. We already talked earlier in the video about when Anderson came off and Snodgrass came on. What I was referring to is that Anderson was following the rules about leaving the pitch on the closest part of the pitch that's to you, whereas Jesus didn't. And so that was time wasting, and there should have been some form of reprimand as a result of that. But guys, thank you very much for your time for watching this. Just before we wrap things up, Ben and I have got an apology to make, because when we did the transfer window review, we missed out 2 players. My fault entirely. I completely. But we missed that. We missed out. Mark said it's sarcasm. I thought it might have been, mate. Yeah. So better wrap yourself up for Tuesday, son. Yeah, because Mark's going to be the guest on Tuesday's live stream. So, but anyway, so as I say, so we missed out. Obiang going to Sassuolo for, what was it? It's about 6 million, if I remember correctly. Wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Your thoughts on that deal?
Well, I think it was inevitable. He was going to go back to Italy. He wasn't going to play much for us. Again, I would have tried to get a little bit more money for him, between maybe closer to 8 million. But at the end of the day, he wasn't going to feature for us. So good luck to him. And I have to say, how he left the club and how he spoke afterwards, he conducted himself very well,
Actually, I think it was around about 8 million or something, because I remember the report saying that we made 100% profit on him, and I remember he came in for about 4 million. So yeah, but you're right, we could have made a lot better money out of that deal, but made absolutely. We did talk about it briefly, anyway, but we'll talk about it again. That you're absolutely right. He was the ultimate professional, which is the whole reason why you got an entire page dedicated to him on the West Ham website, and why we all love him, because he made the Austrian snake, aka Anautovic, because I know you were asking who, and I didn't hear that when I was referring to him. But yes, he did everything that Anautovic didn't in that scenario, and it was just as a professional, I should say, and it was just absolutely superb. And the other one that we missed out, I know we did talk about it when the news broke originally, but we missed out talking about Reece Oxford going for pretty much nothing. I know that it was announced that A, it was an undisclosed fee, and B, that it leaked out that it was just over about 2.1 million, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But from what I understand of it, the majority of that went back to Oxford and his agent anyway for to supplement his income.
Right.
Again, not what you do as a professional, especially at that age. I mean, I understand why he's done it from that point of view, okay? Because it's down to the club just over-egging it, for lack of a better way of putting it, over-egging the cake by just that he had one decent game out of the entire 4 or 5 appearances that he made that season. He had made one decent game, and they gave him a bumper contract as a result of it. And it's, in my opinion, that went to his head, and which is why we were only able to get rid of him when we did, because nobody else wanted him. I wish the guy all the best. I really hope he turns himself around and doesn't have a Ravel Morrison type career. But your thoughts on the deal, mate?
Yeah, I think it's sad, because at one stage we thought we had a star in our hands, but I think it was time. I think what his problem is, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe he has had the same agent as Sterling had when he sort of left Liverpool in a great way. And I think he was pressured at a young age to act or behave in a way that he shouldn't have and wouldn't have been best for his career. I would have liked to get more money again, but you know, the kid's not going to. His attitude wasn't right by all accounts, and he just wasn't going to feature for us, or it just wasn't going to happen. So, you know, cut our ties and off you go.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I mean, he was applauded left, right, and centre for that game against Arsenal, and quite rightly so, because he was the youngest we ever had on the pitch at that point. And he absolutely, because he was a complete unknown, Arsenal had no idea how to handle him. But guys, as I say, thank you very much for watching. If you're new around here, welcome. Thank you very much. I just call him Jazz, but Jaswinder Opal, thank you very much to you both of your kids to subscribe. I only saw one subscriber. I don't know if the other one did. But guys, thank you very much. We are currently on, where are we? The count is at the moment is 958. So it's gone up a couple since this morning. So guys, thank you very much to everybody that signed up. If you haven't subscribed, then I suggest you do so ASAP, because as I say, and not only just that, but turn on your notification bell so when live streams and new content is being loaded. But what I'm saying is, in order for you guys to enjoy the content better, if switch off your privacy settings for your subscribers, so when you subscribe to the channel, so I can see it if you haven't already. But we are 42 away from somebody getting a 1,000th subscriber commemorative plaque, lovingly made by Dean on Twitter. He hasn't made it yet because I haven't put through the order yet. But now it's coming up to the roundabout. It's going to take a couple of weeks, so probably by then, by the time it's done, the 1,000 would have come and gone. But I need to know, guys, you need to switch off your privacy settings under. So you go into your main profile. Actually, I will show you how you do it, because I did it on the last stream beforehand, but I will show you how to do it now. So give me just 2 moments while I get the relevant section up. So get back to the home page. Right, so here we go. So what you do is ignore the crappy background. So as you can see, my internet's not brilliant when I'm uploading. So here we go. So you have up here eventually will be your icon of when your user account is. So what you do is you come up to here, and then you click it, so you get the drop down. You go down to settings, and once that loads, eventually, come on BT, kick your ass. There we go. Privacy. Go over to privacy in the settings on the left-hand menu. I don't think you can do this on your computer, but on your laptop or your mobiles or tablets, but you can do it on a PC or computer. So, and we got here, keep all my subscriptions private. Untick that, click save, and I will be able to see who's subscribing to what. So guys, thank you very, very much for your time. Just as an update for what's coming up for the channel, on Monday night we will be talking live on the Facebook page only. There's nothing coming up on the YouTube channel. Just go over to JPWHUTV group page on Facebook, where I will be talking through the first weekend of the Fantasy League football, breaking down where everybody is. It's going to be a piece of piss because I'm just going to literally tell everybody's positions and their points and how I think they're getting on. I haven't looked at mine yet. I don't think I've got very many points, to be honest with you, apart from what was going on with Liverpool Friday night. But and then Tuesday night, Saki asked DJ Blokey, aka Mark Butler, who's also in the Fantasy League. He's coming on the channel Tuesday. Should around be either 7:45 or 8 o'clock, depending on the tubes. You can always tell when I'm rushing. This microphone never works properly when I'm rushing. So he's coming on, and then on Wednesday I've got a break for once. Because Thursday night is going to be the preview to the Brighton away game, so keep an eye out for that. And Saturday at 3 o'clock. I will be trying to do again, because at the end of last season, the last away game I did a watch with for the Watford game. That was brilliant. That went really, really well. So I'm going to be doing that again for Brighton away, and hopefully everything's going to work properly this time. and the source that I'll be using won't be too far behind. So, guys, thank you very much for all your time. It's an absolute pleasure talking to you, Ben, as always. And guys, thank you very much to everybody that's been interacting in the chat, in the group chat. Dennis Baxter asked very, very quickly why on earth was Creswell captain. Very, very good question. Very, very good question. Very inconsistent bloke. But I couldn't really think of anybody that could have been, with the exception of Rice. Before anyone jumps on my back about it, and Balbuena, Diop possibly as well. Those three for me should have been automatic captain. But anyway, Ben, who would you have picked as captain?
Balbuena would have been mine. He's a natural leader, but you know, I can understand Cresswell's been there for a while, but he definitely wouldn't have been my choice for captain. No.
Yeah, that's the point, mate. Is length of time shouldn't necessarily automatically default you to be captain. You know, it's like if somebody leaves and but they can't hire somebody a job, and therefore the person that's been there longest automatically defaults into that position. It's not right. At the end of it doesn't matter if they can do the job all right. If they can do the job, then fine. But Creswell's not captain material for me, 100%.
No.
But guys, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I am going to eat because I'm bloody starving. Even though I had a big breakfast this morning. To soak up the lager beforehand. And guys, but thank you very much for your time, and I will see you live Monday night at 8 o'clock on the Facebook group. If you aren't registered, haven't joined up to the group, there is a link in the description below. So thank you very much, and I've got to stop saying that. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you on Monday evening.
Thank you.